This video addresses Priorities Service Management Software, an all-in-one solution for companies that sell integrated systems, such as security systems, HVAC systems, elevator systems, and the like, and provide ongoing services for these systems. This solution enables you to manage all pre-sale and post-sale activities relating to the integrated systems you provide, including warranty and maintenance of these systems, all within a single software package. Priorities Service Management Software helps companies oversee customer relations across the sales process, organize the various costs associated with the sales process within a single sales project, work with service contracts, and handle service calls, whether by help desk staff or by field technicians. Moreover, a variety of financial tools are integrated into Priorities customer service solution, and various executive reports are available to help you manage the entire process. An overview of the entire solution is presented in a separate video clip. In this video, we will demonstrate one aspect of the solution, managing service technicians in Priority. At this point, we'll demonstrate how routine servicing is handled in Priority, including the logistics of managing both service technicians who work from the office and field service technicians. Let's begin with the service call. From the Customer Service Calls menu, enter the Service Calls form. As we will demonstrate shortly, all aspects of the service call can be handled directly from this form, including the reporting of parts, labor, and other related expenses, as well as customer billing. There are several ways to record a new service call. One way is for the designated customer contact to log into your website and record their service call directly into the system, as we have demonstrated in our website. Alternatively, customers can email a service representative when they experience a technical issue, and the email message can be imported into Priority from either Outlook or Gmail as a service call. Upon synchronization, a service call is opened in the corresponding Priority form. The message's subject is copied into the Details column, its contents appear as the details of the malfunction, and if any files were attached to the message, such as a photograph of the faulty part, these will be imported into the attachment's sublevel form. The relevant customer number is identified based on the email address from which the message was sent. If the message's subject indicates a number of an existing service call to be updated, the system will detect this and update the corresponding service call instead of opening a new one. Of course, you can also record an incoming call manually, for instance, when the issue is reported over the phone. Upon recording the customer number, data pertaining to the customer's credit status are filled in automatically in the customer credit sublevel form. In some cases, this information may impact how the call is to be handled. Moreover, if the customer's total debt exceeds a designated credit limit, a warning or error message will appear, enabling you to suspend service to customers that have amassed large debts. Upon opening the call, a number of columns are filled in automatically, such as today's date and the default initial status. Any of these values can be updated manually as needed. Before continuing to the next tab, we'll also indicate the serial number of the device to be serviced. If the specified device is under contract, the number of the corresponding service contract is filled in automatically. When services are provided under contract, this mechanism enables you to verify that the serial number on each device being serviced matches the one of the serial numbers recorded in the service contract. This helps ensure that company technicians provide service only for the actual parts that you provided, or if you sell a servicing package for an existing system, that the part in question has passed inspection by an authorized technician. Press F6 from this column to view all information pertaining to the serialized part in the catalog of parts with serial numbers, including the date of installation at the customer site and the service terms that apply to the device. The Serialized Components of Part sublevel form lists any components that make up the device, some of which may also be assigned a serial number. Let's return to the open service call. Moving to the Service Info tab, note that the service terms defined for this device in the catalog of parts with serial numbers have now been filled in automatically. Note that you can press F6 from this column to access the service terms form, from which you can review the conditions of service terms. When recording a service call for a part that isn't assigned a serial number, record a service contract number manually. The service terms are generally filled in based on the corresponding service contract. If the part in question is not under contract, the default value, full payment, is applied. This mechanism ensures that the customer is charged for billable items only when an invoice is generated for the service call. In the Scheduling tab, we'll note that the call is also automatically assigned to a default technician based on the defined part family, zone, or customer, depending on how default settings are defined. In any case, we can reassign the call as needed and even assign a second and third technician to a given call if necessary. Scheduled service calls are also recorded automatically as tasks assigned to the relevant technicians. You may also want to keep track of the labor devoted to a given call at a finer resolution by dividing the handling time into multiple tasks. To do so, use the task list sublevel form to record a number of tasks for the service call to be handled by one or more different technicians or other staff members whose assistance is required. Note that you can also define color coding for the service calls based on the values of the designated columns. For example, you may decide to display any urgent service calls in the color red. From the list of direct activations provided in this form, we'll select Technician Scheduling Calendar to check which of the company's technicians are available to handle this call over the next few days. When the calendar is activated directly from a specific call, any assignment recorded here will be linked automatically to that call. Press F1 from any scheduled item to view additional details such as customer and part information. You can also access the Technician Scheduling Calendar from the Service Calls menu. Conversely, you can view or update the details of a scheduled call in the Service Calls form by pressing F2 from the relevant calendar item. Let's exit the calendar and return to the Service Calls form. Note that the call's start time and end time have been filled in automatically with the times we defined in the calendar. The entire scheduling process can be performed from either the Technician Scheduling Calendar or the Service Calls form. The calendar provides a graphic visualization of the schedules of multiple technicians. Note that priority calendars can also be synchronized with your Outlook or Gmail calendar. Another tool that can help you manage technician scheduling is the Service Manager dashboard, accessed from the Executive Reports Customer Service menu. In the Service Calls Requiring Attention web part, we'll choose to view service calls by technician. The pie display illustrates any imbalance in the current allocation of technicians to active service calls, enabling you to find and eliminate any bottlenecks. Yet another report that can be useful in this regard is the Service Call Load report, which enables you to view the daily, weekly, or monthly service call load for a designated period. The Service Calls form also provides access to a Business Process Management or BPM flowchart for service calls, which enables you to define rules that determine how and when call statuses are updated and set up notifications such as automated emails that are sent to a designated user when service calls receive a given status. For example, in our company, we've defined a rule for the completed status, ensuring that SMS notification is sent to the relevant customer contact when the service call receives the completed status. Let's proceed to review Priorities Field Service Tools, which can be accessed from a variety of handheld devices, mobile phones, and laptop computers. Priorities Field Service Solution provides technicians with access to vital system tools and data from a variety of mobile devices when working in the field. Moreover, The service vehicle used by each technician can be defined in the system as a mobile warehouse, enabling you to manage inventory in real time for any parts that the technician carries with him or her when making field calls. From the main screen, the field technician can open a list of active service calls that are currently assigned to him or her. This list contains basic information about these active calls, including the scheduled date and time for each. The context-sensitive menu for this screen presents options for filtering the displayed service calls or viewing a map overlay of scheduled service calls by customer name. Let's select the next scheduled service call and click the Details icon. In addition to details pertaining to the reported malfunction, this screen also displays the customer address and phone number. The phone icon enables technicians to place a call to this number using their handheld device, while clicking the map icon opens a map of the area in Google Maps. Next, we'll examine the customer's description of the malfunction. Clicking the exclamation mark icon opens a window displaying additional malfunction details. This screen also displays the terms of service currently in effect for the serialized part being serviced, which ultimately determines whether the customer will be billed for these services. Let's go back to the previous screen. From here, technicians can access a history of malfunctions reported for the same serialized part and see what actions were taken at that time, as well as a list of parts that were used or returned during servicing. If, after reading on the faulty part and its service history, the technician concludes that the device itself or one of its components needs to be replaced, he or she can proceed from the call itself to the parts form. Here they can choose the necessary part from a list of all inventory currently stored in their service vehicle. If this is a serialized part, pressing the down arrow opens a list of specific devices sorted by serial number. If the technician's vehicle lacks sufficient inventory of any required parts, they can check if it's possible to transfer inventory from a transit warehouse before traveling to the customer. Note that technicians can also use their mobile device to open a purchase demand for any parts that are running low in stock. Let's return to our service call. Click the Contacts to view the customer contact associated with this call, and click the phone icon to dial his number and let him know that you're on your way over. Note the car icon indicating that the call is in progress, that is, the technician is en route to the customer or on site. At the customer's site, you can use the available forms to report any actions you take to repair the diagnosed malfunction and report any parts that are used or returned during servicing. If barcode scanning software has been installed on your mobile device, you can also click the barcode icon and use this software to scan the relevant parts into the system. Any parts you reported to a service call are automatically reduced from the inventory balance in your service vehicle, ensuring that the balances appearing in the system are always up to date. You can also record a detailed description of the repair, including your comments and pictures taken with your mobile device's built-in camera. Finally, you can report the time you spent on this service call, including the travel time. Note that these reports will be linked in priority to the work hour part usually associated with this technician for costing purposes. Under the heading Status Log, you can see the status changes recorded for this service call. Back in the main service call screen, the technician can change the status according to the service call's resolution to canceled, completed, or awaiting customer. if, for example, the customer needs to decide on the type of replacement part to install. Once you receive the customer's response, the status will be updated once again to reflect this change. For demonstration purposes, let's change the status to completed so that the parts, actions, and times recorded for the call are registered in the system while adding the customer's signature as confirmation. Once the technician returns to the office, he or she can use the priorities-rich interface to perform additional actions such as researching similar cases using Priorities Enterprise Search tool, which offers full-text search in any and all system documents and attachments, or automatically preparing an invoice for the service call by running the relevant program from the list of direct activations in that form. Note that the invoices generated for service calls automatically take into account any relevant service terms and valid warranties on serviced parts. As we demonstrated earlier, the financial aspects of customer service is integrated into a number of different forms, such as the option to check the customer's credit or open a new invoice directly from within the service call. Similarly, a form displaying customer credit and liability information can be accessed from many other system forms, including those used to record price quotes, sales orders, shipping documents, and customer invoices. You can also run periodic reports to ensure that all billable items and service calls linked to a current service contract have in fact been billed. A similar report can be run to display any unbilled service calls and customer shipments, from the menu path inventory, inventory transactions, sales inventory transactions, unbilled shipment service calls reports. For instance, as each sales rep is generally responsible for billing his or her assigned customers, you might choose the Unbilled Documents by Sales Rep report to view unbilled customer shipments and service calls for those customers assigned to one or more designated sales rep. The report displays the total amount owed by each customer, broken down by individual transactions and parts. Finally, let's review a few executive reports and BI tools that are available to the Service Manager. One such tool, which we saw earlier in this video, is the Service Manager dashboard. From this dashboard, we can view data for open service calls in a variety of cross-sections. We can also use this dashboard to check the technician's scheduling calendar and to get an overview of the service provided to a particular customer. Next, we'll use the Executive Reports menu to run a BI report that can be used for service call analysis. Here too, data can be presented in various cross-sections, such as customer group. You can then continue to drill down within the data to obtain more specific cross-sections of data. Click on any of the provided links to view more detailed information or access individual records in priority. You can also generate your own customized reports using either the provided report generators. For instance, use the Service Call Report Generator to design a new report that includes exactly those columns that you select. You can also add columns that use a custom expression to perform mathematical operations such as addition or subtraction on other column values. You can then assign your report a name, arrange its columns as desired, and decide whether it will be available for your personal use only or for general use. Custom reports such as this one can also be added to any menu in priority. This concludes our demonstration of how to manage service technicians in priority. This represents just one element of Priority's all-in-one solution for integrated systems market, which enables companies to handle the pre-sale process, installation project, service contract, and ongoing customer service within a single software package with no add-ons.